Hey guys, welcome back. So this is a spring makeup look for you, and I will be using all drugstore products except for some brushes. Most brushes that I use are not drugstore, and also I'm going to be using an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencil. Otherwise, everything else is all drugstore, so I hope you guys enjoy. I have already primed my face using the e.l.f. Mineral Face Primer. I do have a review on this primer. It's actually pretty decent considering it's only $6, so I'll link that down below. And first things first, I have not been practicing what I preach, and I have been picking at my skin. You wear your makeup to bed one time and you break out. That's just how the world works. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my NYX Color Correcting Concealer Palette. This is good stuff. It's actually a pretty decent concealer palette. The coverage is pretty good, and they're pretty creamy and blendable actually. So what I'm going to do is just take this green concealer right here on this e.l.f. concealer brush, and I'm going to cover up my little red spots right here. Next, I'm taking my Makeup Geek foundation stippling brush, and I am going to stipple that, and that's going to help blend it a little bit more. So I was debating whether or not I should do this as a talk through or a voiceover tutorial, and I decided to do talk through because even though talk throughs are a little bit longer than voiceovers, I feel like it's just more of a personal experience. You guys getting to actually watch me talk and stuff versus just watching me put on makeup and hearing my voice. So what I'm doing next is going back into the same color correcting palette, and I'm going to cover up the green with this more flesh toned concealer right here using the same brush. And I find that using concealer like this, really creamy concealer to cover up blemishes, it blends better if you give it just a minute to set. So while that's setting, I'm going to go into this peach colored concealer that I just used on these and on the same brush, and I'm going to pat that on my inner corners because I have been having a little bit of an issue with dark circles lately, and a peach or salmon toned concealer will really help conceal that. And then I'm going to take this e.l.f. pointed foundation brush just to blend a little bit in the inner corners of the eyes. Okay, so today for foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Dream Wonder foundation. This is in the color 75 Natural Beige, and I find that when I don't have a sunless tan or a real tan, beige foundations look a little bit better on me, and when I'm actually tan, more yellow tone foundations look better on me. So that's why I'm going in with a beige foundation. I haven't self-tanned in about 2 weeks now, so I don't really have a whole lot of color. This foundation is pretty decent. I really like the finish, and it lasts pretty much all day long. It kind of has like a liquid to powder finish, kind of similar to the L'Oreal Magic Nude foundation if you're familiar with that. You do need to shake it really well because some of the ingredients do separate when it's just sitting there for a little while. And this is medium to full coverage foundation, so surprisingly, even though it's a very thin foundation, it does give you really good coverage. You just need to apply 2 layers if you want full coverage. We're going to be moving on to brows, and as I mentioned, I am going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz, but I'm also going to use the NYX Brow Mascara. I do like this NYX Brow Mascara. One of my recent videos was a review on it, and of course I will link that below. Next, we're moving on to the eyes, and I'm taking this NYX eyeshadow base, and it's in a little pot. It is a cream eyeshadow base. This is not as good as a MAC paint pot, in my opinion. I love the MAC paint pots. I feel like they give you great color payoff. They help your eyeshadows last forever, and they make the eyeshadows really, really blendable amongst each other. This is just not quite as good. It does all of those things, just not quite as well as the paint pots. For my first eyeshadow today, I'm actually taking this one by Morphe, and it's in the number 15. And while you cannot get these in a normal drugstore, you can get them at Morphe or online, and they're $2 a pan. I'm going to keep this primarily in the outer corner of my crease. I'm still going to blend it in a rounded motion like this, and that's going to give us a nice round look to the eye. But I'm not going to take this in any further than like mid crease. Like right here is as far as I'm going to go. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to not only go back and forth like this, but I'm also going to do large blending motions like this. And with this, you could be kind of sloppy. You don't have to worry about whether or not it gets on your lid, because the next shadows that we're going to use are going on the lid, and that will fix everything. Next up, I'm taking these brand new NYX shadows. These are called the Prismatic shadows, and they have a ton of colors, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're all shimmery, and it's one tone when you look at it straight on, but then when you turn it, it reflects a different color. So this is a copper color and it reflects pink. So it's very, very pretty, and these are actually very pigmented. I think it's safe to say these are my favorite drugstore shadows. They're just gorgeous and you get a ton of color payoff. I'm just going to take this on a flat Sigma brush and apply that to my entire lid. I think I've mentioned this before in videos, but just in case you haven't seen it, the best color payoff you're going to get on the lid is if you use patting motions like this. And then with metallic shadows, if you really want to enhance the mica in it, which is what makes it metallic, you can just take the brush and sweep back and forth like this, and that's really going to bring out the mica in the shadow. I forgot to mention the color of this first shadow that I used is called Fireball, and I'm actually going to be going in with the same brush and another NYX shadow, and this is in the shade Golden Peach, and it's pink and it reflects gold. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on the tip of my brush, and I'm just going to pat that right in the center of my eyelid. So next up, I'm taking this Morphe M205. It's just a really flat brush, and I'm going to take another NYX shadow. This is in the color Girl Talk, and you could see it's like a white champagne-y color with slightly pink reflects. And on the very tip of that brush, I'm just going to apply that to the inner corner as a highlight. I'm also going to apply a tiny bit of that to my brow bone just under the arch of my brow, and that's going to give a little bit of a lift to the eyebrow. I'm going to take just a tiny bit more of that Morphe 15 brown eyeshadow that we used in the crease and use that on the same brush just to blend out those colors a little bit more. And this time, as you can see, I'm taking it all the way in, not just stopping in the middle. Next, I'm going to put on just a little bit of mascara. I'm using my current drugstore favorite, the L'Oreal Butterfly, and I've actually been using this for probably a little over a year. I still love it, so. And since I haven't done my under eye concealer yet, I'm going to skip the lower lashes for now, but later I am going to go in and apply 2 coats. Now I'm actually going to highlight and contour, and my highlight, I don't want a really, really bright highlight. I feel like the focus should be on the copper shadow for this look. I'm using this LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. To set my highlight, I'm using the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. Taking that same concealer, and I am going to slightly highlight my forehead. I am going to highlight my chin a little bit, and that doesn't take a whole lot of product. So for my contour, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation Stick, and this is in the shade 330 Toffee Caramel. Next up for blush, I'm taking this one from Ulta. It's in the color Sunkissed, and it's somewhat of a coppery shade that slightly matches the eye color. So I'm just going to pop that right on the area where the contour meets the highlight. Because this is a springtime look, I really want that rosy cheek look, so that's why I'm applying it so far in on the apples of my cheeks. So one thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing your blush after having highlighted and contoured is you don't want to have a white space right here between your contour and your blush. You'll want to make sure your blush meets the contour. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, because I don't want anybody to have a funky looking contour and then blame me. Next, what we're going to do is actually go back into this NYX eyeshadow, the one that I used on the inner corner, and then I'm actually going to be using this as a cheekbone highlight as well. So I'm just going to take this on a small tapered brush, and in a C-shaped motion, I'm going to blend this on my cheekbone. And what this is doing is coming up to meet that brow bone highlight right there. I'm also taking a little bit of that shadow and I'm going to dot that right on the tip of my nose just to enhance that little button shape. And I'm also going to do a little bit right here on the bridge. Okay, next I'm going in with lashes, and I've shown these many, many times. These are my favorite drugstore lashes. They are the Ardell 120 Demi lashes, and I'm just going to pop those babies on. Okay, so we have our falsies on, and I'm going back into that same Morphe 15 eyeshadow on the same brush that we used in the crease, and I'm just going to dust this back and forth just to give a little definition to the under eye area. Then I'm going to take the second NYX shadow we used. Once again, this is Golden Peach, and on a flat brush, I'm just going to buff this right on top of that brown. Then, like I mentioned earlier, I am going to put 2 coats on the lower lashes. So now to set the entire face, I'm using this makeup setting spray from Ulta. I've used this a couple times, and it's actually pretty decent. Just gonna give that a minute to set. One last thing for the face, I'm actually taking this e.l.f. bronzer. This is the warm bronzer, and I'm just gonna use this to warm up a little bit on my cheeks. I'm giving you guys 3 different lip options for this look. The first one is a nude. This is a L'Oreal lipstick. All of L'Oreal's models basically came up with a formula of nude lipstick that works best for their skin tone, and I think there's like 8 of them. So this is Jennifer's nude. It is the Jennifer Lopez nude. The next option is just a lip gloss. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in the color Cherry Cheesecake. It's a tangerine color, which is perfect for spring. Next, I'm going to show you this look with a pink gloss. This is NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Cupcake. That's going to do it for my spring-inspired makeup tutorial today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this look, and let me know which of the 3 lip colors you liked best with this look. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Also, any other requests for videos, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check the description bar below for my drugstore cream highlighting and contouring video. Even though I did use those products in this video, it's a much more in-depth video about how to cream highlight and contour. So don't forget to check that out as well. Thank you again so much for watching. It's much appreciated, and I will see you guys next time.